We'll watch what Trump supporters do. Oh, these high level ideas are already making me sad. I mean, Mitch, I don't think any Republicans actually believe that Donald Trump won. The one with the ideas. All right. Oh, it's so loud. I hate it already. I've never actually watched this show.
Hello, how are you?
I don't like it. I already don't like it. His high level ideas are just penetrating my mind. So far, I'm 11 seconds in. I'm not sure I can handle it, guys. I'm not. I'm not sure. It's 26 minutes. It's okay. It's 3 seconds longer. Or sorry, 3 minutes shorter. I understand. It will feel like it's at least 29 hours long. I understand. I understand. But we need to expose ourselves to the high levels of ideas. Okay, the brain melting, cancerous ideas.
What's going on? What's new? How's the family? How's work? How's the country? I'm Dave Rubin. It's November 6th, 2020. We are 3 full days post-election, and we still don't have a winner. We'll unpack that and more on today's episode of the...
Did his voice somehow get like worse? I don't understand. I guess my phone's just gonna beep every time I try and plug it in. Great. Okay. Yeah, where's Larry King when you need him? Oh gosh. All right. His voice got worse, but we're gonna power through. Okay, guys. We only have 26 minutes left.
The direct message. All right, guys, a lot to talk about. I'm not going to bludgeon you with stats today. I've been trying not to do that anyway. But I'm going to try to analyze a little bit of what could possibly happen in the future. And we'll kind of go from there. I'm going to do a little bit on some media coverage. And then I do want to talk about one sign that I hope most people would see as good either way, which is that the gay vote did shift a lot. Even if you're a lefty gay,
I hope Jon Stewart comes back.
Gay people to only have to vote for one party, as if the entire gay community is a monolith and must think the same way.
Okay, so this high-level idea, brought to you by Dave Rubin, is that gay people aren't a monolith and they all need to vote the same way, as if there's a council of gays enforcing some sort of voter policy upon the gays. Generally, people vote for the party that is in their best interest. Oh yeah, Abby Shapiro is extremely attractive. I will say that. I wish she was a lesbian. I wish she was. It would make her it would make her much more palatable. But his idea is like there's like some sort of overriding council that's telling gay people how to vote. It's not the case. It's just that Democrats as a whole have largely been in favor of the whole gay marriage thing, have generally been in favor of LGBTQ rights, or at least more so than Republicans. So, yeah, just, this is generally why people on the left vote for Democrats. This is generally why, yes.
Although that's generally how they think about these things. So we'll break down some of those numbers. I mentioned some other numbers in the last couple of days about how Trump did actually shockingly well within the Muslim community and the Latino community. And we're seeing all sorts of interesting things that have maybe changed the demographics of the way the parties actually look at who they have to go after and how they have to go after them. But obviously all of that is secondary to the fact that we don't know who won the election. In case you forgot, on Tuesday night, it was looking really good for Trump. And then at about 11 o'clock Pacific, suddenly all the states that seemingly were going to Trump suddenly stopped counting. I didn't know that stopping counting was a thing. I didn't know you can't count late into the night. But
Well, you realize that 11 p.m. on the West Coast, it's like what? I need to do mental math to figure out the time zones. It's like what, 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. It's not 8 a.m. on the East Coast at 11 o'clock. Good lord. Yeah, 2 a.m. on the East Coast. And so it's I'm bad with numbers, guys. Don't give me too much shit, okay? Um, but so yeah, it's 2 a.m. on the East Coast. People want to go to bed. They want to go to bed. So yeah, they stop counting. Yeah, yeah. Usually, by the end of the election night, it's not so close that the election hasn't been called. However, because of the nature of this election and the way that counting is done in many states, the mail-in votes took a really long time to count. And then, on top of that, most of the mail-in votes, because of the president's messaging, aired on the side of Joe Biden. This isn't a hard thing to figure out. The president spent months talking about how mail-in votes were bad. Yeah, did you notice that Trump tweeted to stop the count at the same time that his supporters in Arizona were chanting "Count the votes"? Yep. Let's see. All right. Let's continue on with the high-level ideas. I do like, though, that conservative commentators are trying to make this seem like some sort of magic. Like, oh, wow, people wanted to go home and sleep. They didn't want to count through the night. They wanted to sleep, and then when they started counting the votes that they were allowed to count later, it went to Joe Biden because they were mail-in votes. Yeah, yeah, around 80% of mail-in votes went to Joe Biden. Yeah.
suddenly everybody stopped counting. And then in the last 48 hours or so, we're seeing sort of recounts and they're checking ballots. And in Pennsylvania, apparently your ballot doesn't even have to be postmarked by the date of the election, so it could have come in after the election. That seems a little weird. There's all these strange irregularities, and one of the strengths and weaknesses of America is that we have states that can all kind of do things their own way. And they've done things their own way for decades and decades and decades, about 200 plus years of that. And there are strengths in that we have a diverse country where you can choose where to live, and that might be hopefully a little more in line with the way you think and want to live, and you can be around people that you like. Strange that I'm here in Los Angeles, but nobody's perfect. Or the counter to that, of course, is that you'd have
it's really weird how so many conservatives live in and around LA. Super weird. Super weird that they don't go off and live in red states. And super weird that when they do, they go and live in blue areas. Super weird. Anyway.
one giant sort of machine on top of you, and then it would make a decision, meaning the federal layer would make some sort of decision, the king, the president, the prime minister, and that everyone would have to obey that. I don't view that as good. Now, the weakness part of that is all of these states, and we're seeing that.
What?
Strange that I'm here in Los Angeles, but nobody's perfect. Or the counter to that, of course, is that you'd have one giant sort of machine on top of you, and then it would make a decision, meaning the federal layer would make some sort of decision, the king, the president, the prime minister, and that everyone would have to obey that. I don't view that as good. Now, the weakness part of
okay, so he's saying the counter to this would be one standardized system, but he describes it as a machine that is installed by a monarch. Okay. All right. Not like okay, whatever. This is, I guess this idea is just too high level for me right now.
all of these states, and we're seeing this right now, they have different rules when it comes to how they count the ballots, when they count the ballots, what they're going to do. In many of the states that we're having these odd recountings in, they are Democratic governors and Democratic attorney generals. That's just a fact. That doesn't mean they're corrupt. That doesn't mean they're evil, but it is just a fact. And as I've been talking about, this Attorney General of Pennsylvania actually said days before the election that Biden was going to win the election. And now Pennsylvania obviously is one of the ones where Trump went from up 700,000 to now I think he's down a couple votes. But again, I don't want to get lost in the numbers because that will just make everybody crazy. And by the way, you can really feel the craziness going all over the place.
Also, it's easier to count Republican votes. Republican votes in the United States tend to come in first because the voting locations in rural America are more spread out, so you have more people counting less votes than as opposed to like a city, for example. The largely blue areas tend to be cities. You have fewer people counting more votes, so the vote takes longer in cities. Here we go. Yeah, well, every state does it differently. Every state does it differently, my dude. Florida, specifically after the 2000 election, changed the way that they handle elections so that they can get the count in fast. That's why. Most other states didn't have the same problems as Florida did in the 2000 election. Happy, do you know anything about the 2000 election that might have prodded Florida to reform its the way it does elections? Can you think of anything that might have happened in the year 2000 at all? Anything that might have happened. It was the 2000 election between Bush and Gore, where Florida fucked up so badly that there was a giant, like, massive amount of legal fuck-ups. Florida did do the same. Yeah. They reformed their election system. The other states didn't. Yeah. What is wild about this idea? Also, states get called before all of the votes get tallied. They project who wins the states. Like, you understand California gets called before 100% of all the votes get counted, right? Like, they call California when, like, 30% of the vote is in. So, yeah, it depends on the state. That's the legal thing, though, Jack. Well, yeah, how they call a state is different depending on the news organization. It's different depending on how the vote is counted. Are you telling me the Jewish community in Florida didn't want to all vote for Pat Buchanan in 2000? I mean, probably not. Like, what actually makes someone win a state? Well, they have more votes. Yeah. Why aren't the rest as efficient? Because every state has different ways of handling elections. Even Dave Rubin understands this, by the way. He literally just mentioned it in the video. We're talking about some high-level ideas, Happy. I think you need to get on the same level as Dave Rubin and I. I can't claim to be on the same level as Dave Rubin. I'm just... Right. I am aware, William of Orange. Thank you for nitpicking that idea. Callie could have low-key been called before the first vote came in, if we're being honest. Well, yeah. Well, actually, according to Tim Pool, a resident liberal, Trump could have won 49 states, so we don't want to count him out of California, okay? Shifty Eye Dog, if you want to post a link, please send it to one of my mods. And if it's worthwhile, I'll check it out, okay? And let's continue ingesting these high-level ideas.
Before, though, I get into some of my predictions, and I want to kind of lay out what will happen, I think, if Trump wins, what will happen if Biden wins, what will happen if this really gets strung out for a while and everything else. I do want to mention one thing about being here in Los Angeles during this. Now, I know a ton of people here in Los Angeles that secretly voted for Trump. And as I've been saying for weeks, I didn't know anyone that was a Trump person last time that voted for Biden this time. And I hear so many versions of that story from you guys literally across the country. And yet here we are in these numbers that we're supposed to believe. But okay, that's just...
One of the main issues when it comes to elections is that there are far more registered Democrats than there are registered Republicans. And so the issue is not necessarily flipping Trump voters to go to Biden, which is what Dave Rubin is implying. The issue is getting Democratic voters to turn out. It's voter mobilization. So, this idea that, like, well, I haven't heard of any Trump supporters flipping over to Biden, so obviously these numbers seem more fraudulent, is like really a weird take. I don't know why it's here, but whatever.
Just fine. One of the interesting things, though, is that I went to my local supermarket yesterday, and in the supermarket since lockdown, it's been kind of depressing in there, and they only let a certain amount of people in, and you got to wear your mask, and there's someone outside that looks depressed. And one day I didn't have a mask, and I forgot my mask at home, and I was like, oh, can I just have a mask? I'm just, I'm like I was picking up coffee, I think, can I just get a mask from you guys? And the manager came out and he was like, if I give you a mask, I have to give everybody a mask, which is the same thing as, remember when you were in third grade and they're like, if you bring cupcakes for your birthday, you got to bring them for everybody. You can't just bring them for the people you like. Anyway, yada, yada, yada.
No, it's not the same thing. You're asking something from a private company. Yeah, of course the manager's not going to give you something for free, dipshit. Yeah. Like, what the fuck does Dave Rubin think a private business is? I genuinely don't get this. This is weird. Yeah, I'm sure he can pay for it too. Like, I don't understand what the issue is here. Why did he expect to get it for free?
The place has been kind of depressed. They've had their outdoor seating pretty much all closed throughout.
Also, I don't give a shit about his local grocery store. Why is he telling this story? I don't care how depressing his grocery store is. I don't demand like a carnival experience every time I go to buy food. What's up with this? Hello, Paul Bisog. I hope you're having a great night. We're all miserable here, much like Dave Rubin's story, because we're watching a Dave Rubin video. Oh yeah, we're the lefties here. We're cool, okay?
About this, there's been like 2 or 3 tables. It's been kind of quiet in there. I'm not even sure if they've been playing music. Anyway, I go yesterday and music is blasting. All the employees, you can just see like everyone's happy. The outdoor section suddenly magically open again. Like there's just some weird stuff. Now they're all on the assumption, obviously, that Biden is going to win. But if your state of being, your very happiness, your existential like worldview has been so caught up in this that you chose to be depressed for however long, and now magically, even though we don't even have a decision yet, you're up and about and you're happy and you're singing and everything else. Man, that is not a way to live, and that's why I always say you have to have a wider philosophical or religious view of the world.
This is from a guy who probably thinks that if Trump wasn't going to get elected, the world was going to fall apart. So, I don't know. This seems weird to me, but okay.
Something that is eternally true. Otherwise, your guy gets in, you're depressed. The other guy gets in, you're happy, and you'll basically end up bipolar. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about where we're at and what's going on.
Wait, does Dave Rubin think that like elections happen like every other week or something? I think maybe being bipolar might not mean what Dave Rubin thinks it means. And I know I'm nitpicking here, but like I don't think someone celebrating once every 4 years if their party wins, whether they're right or left, is like a weird thing to do. I genuinely don't think that's a weird thing to do. Literally Trump supporters think that if Biden wins, their lives are over. I've seen these kids crying on TikTok, okay? I know that people have like genuine deep feelings about this election.
Now, it's basically just a complete cluster of insanity. That's kind of where we're at. We got about 6, 7 states that still haven't been decided. Most of them Trump was leading in. Now it's either getting closer or Biden has taken the lead. Arizona is the reverse of that, where they had called it for Biden. Now it's looking towards Trump. But it doesn't. None of that stuff matters. Let's just put that aside, because I don't think all these states are going to make some decisions today. There's a feeling in the mainstream media and from the Twitterati that it's like it could happen at any moment. They're just going to announce Biden, and I wouldn't put it past these people to just announce Biden and then have to go from there. And the Biden campaign released a statement today saying something like, if Trump doesn't leave the White House in 70 days, the law enforcement will escort him out or something. So that type of tweet's allowed on there, but not the other tweets. Okay, fine.
What?
So
wait,
let's do
but
it
not
this
the
way.
other
So if
tweets?
Biden
Wait.
wins,
What other tweets? Did I miss that?
Past these people to just announce Biden and then have to go from there.
Again, they've announced him as the projected winner of the election, yes.
And the Biden campaign released a statement today saying something like, if Trump doesn't leave the White House in 70 days, the law enforcement will escort him out or something. So that type of tweet's allowed on there, but not the other tweets. Okay, fine. So
Wait,
let's do it this
I don't
way.
understand.
So
What's
Biden
controversial
wins.
about saying the Secret
Biden
Service
winning
would
first and
escort someone out of
where
the
we're
White
at.
House
Oh,
if
by
they
the way,
were not the president anymore?
I do want to mention that this morning on the Rubin Report community, I posted, sort of how I can help. What do you guys think I can do in the midst of all this? Like at a micro level, meaning personally, and at a macro level, meaning sort of societally. Like what can we all do? Not just me, but what can we all do individually? And we got hundreds of responses and really interesting stuff. And I'm trying to respond to as many people as possible in there. So again, if you do want direct communication with me, especially because it's very obvious that the Twitter bans
Thank you for the follow,
and the suppression
Oakland
and all
Jedi.
that stuff,
I appreciate
it's
that.
coming,
We're trying
man.
to build
It's
up
coming,
a
and that will
community
lead
here.
me into the Biden stuff in just a sec.
And your lucky
so
number
please do join us at
555.
RubinReport.com, because it's direct communication with me, and it's sane, and there's no trolls, and there's no bots, and it's all good. Okay, so look, if Biden wins, first, I think
Wait, did
what
he
we'll
just
get out
advertise
of the
Parler?
media, because as many people as possible in there. So again, if you do want direct sort of societally, like what can we all do? Not just me, but what can we all do individually? And we got hundreds of responses and really interesting stuff. And I'm trying to respond to as many people as possible in there. So again, if you do want direct communication with me, especially because it's very obvious that the Twitter bans and the suppression and all that stuff, like it's coming, man, it's coming. And that will lead me into the Biden stuff in just a sec. So please do join us at RubinReport.com, because it's direct communication with me, and it's sane, and there's no trolls, and there's no bots, and it's all good. Okay.
Well,
so,
wait, do you actually want me to play the bad game? Because I asked at the beginning, and no one seemed super interested in watching me play the bad game. I can set it up, and we can do it tomorrow. It doesn't mean we can't talk about... It's not scary at all, my dude. We are at 500. Okay, I will play it tomorrow. I have everything set up. We can play it at any time. Hello, tiniest boop. Oh, it's a different game? Yeah. It's this PS1 survival. It is a horror game, but it's a PS1 game. It's not scary. It's called a 3D sci-fi adventure. Yeah. I'll read you the back of the box. You wake up from a cryogen. Oh, wait, I need to make it. I need to make it. Uh-oh. Am I dropping frames? Am I still good? Can you hear me? Mic check. Mic check. Okay. Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Bum 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 bum. You wake up from a cryogenic sleep with no memory. Stumbling through an underground base, you discover an evil virus courses through your veins. You must find an antidote, and soon. With the help of a friendly robot and a mysterious woman, you must battle infected clones and uncover the secrets of the base. Survival is only half the battle. To prevail, you must defeat this mysterious scientist who controls your destiny. Evil is in your blood. Features: control 3 characters with unique abilities to complete your quest. Full camera movement in 3D environment, including first-person mode. Compelling and suspenseful storyline that draws you into the drama. Gather clues, manage resources, and use your intuition to stay alive. It's rated teen, 13 plus. Why? Wait, when? Oh, the pixel art game. Evil is a resident in your blood. True. It predates Resident Evil though, so you know. Um. Oh, tiniest boop, why are you lurking? I like you very much. Okay. The pixel game is scary. Well, we finished the pixel game season. Uh, we finished season 1 of the pixel art game, and we'll play season 2 eventually. Hello, Fidget Cube. How are you doing? Um, Man, that game really got under your skin, William of Orange. Fidget Cube, hello. Welcome to the chat. I hope you enjoy your stay. Sounds like Fallout. No, it was a point and click adventure game. All right. Let's finish experiencing the high level ideas, guys.
Look, if Biden wins,
Oh wait. Tired, stressed, overwhelmed, need to lay back and chill for a bit. Well, this is a stream for you. We've got some high level ideas to expose you to, okay?
first, I think what we'll get out of the media class and out of the establishment class is basically, you see the 4 evil years, the 4 cancerous, vile, disgusting years were now purged.
One of my favorite things about right wingers, by the way, do we like Dave Rubin? Absolutely not. One of the things I love about right wingers, though, is the way that they like try and mimic like the way lefties talk, and like when they themselves are just like, yeah, liberals are like, these last 4 years were hellish and awful, and also just like it was like stubbing my toe every day. Like they come up with like this like long list of like ways to describe it, and like it's just ooh. Unique name goes here. I know that I was thirsting over Daddy Biden earlier in the stream, but this beard doesn't do it for me. Dave Rubin would be much more attractive without a beard. So, tiniest boop, it'll be a good time, okay? Promise. And I hope you feel better, okay?
We've now purged them, and now we can return to some level of normalcy. Now the good guys will be in charge again. Now we will be America again, and we'll have removed that cancer and all of that. And I think you'll really see that messaging. And then I think what you'll also see is what I've been warning about for the last couple of weeks, where we've seen these tweets from people like Robert Reich, who is in the Robert Reich, I suppose, at some level, who is in the Clinton administration, talking about these truth and reconciliation committees, and we're going to need lists of people. Like, I don't put it past any of the establishment people to just really start coming up with lists and names and try to just destroy people and destroy anyone associated with Trump and everything else, which
I don't understand this fascination people have. Like, he thinks that people on the left are going to write lists of people and like blacklist them and like destroy their lives. This is absolutely like wild, wacky shit. And Dave Rubin's just like, yeah, they're gonna get in power, and Joe Biden's gonna sit down with the cabal, and they're gonna come up with names, and the cabal is gonna do something, and they're gonna destroy everyone on that list. It's like the Rush Limbaugh thing, where like Rush Limbaugh's like, yeah, lefties can destroy the Democrats, the demo rats, I like to call them. The demo rats are actually they're going to destroy anyone that they want to. They're too powerful, but also they're liberal cucks. I don't know. That's my Rush Limbaugh. It's not very good. AOC did say something about like a blacklist, but I think it was like of people who were harassing her. So like, I don't know. Um, yeah, except that this like AOC putting. Okay, I guess I'll look up this dumb story so we can like actually know what it's about because I don't know what it's about yet. AOC list. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's what she said. Is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for when they try and downplay their complicity in the future? I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future. Lol at the party of personal responsibility, being upset of being responsible for their behavior over the last 4 years. Wow, what like an evil maniacal list she must have. Writing down things that people did. Wow. I'm wow, such a Nazi like thing to do. Writing things down that people did and said so that you can reference their actions later. Almost like holding people accountable for their actions in the party of personal responsibility is a bad thing. Wow. It's not a dumb story, it's a tweet. Yeah, it's a tweet that makes a really good point that everyone's fucking blowing out of proportion. Although rain from Inglorious Bastards. Lol. Bariaza, first off, welcome to the stream. I hope you have a good time. And also, Bariaza, send it to a mod, and they will be able to post it. Otherwise, it doesn't show up. Okay?
In many ways would be the most anti-American thing you could do. And what I'm saying is, if Trump actually stepped away, said, I lost this thing, Biden comes in, and then you still are going after them, you're going after all the people. Remember, for all the cries of lock her up and everything else, Trump never did it. He never did it. And we have to.
Literally in the weeks up to the leading up to the election, he called for the arrest of Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and Barack Obama. He was calling for their arrest, and he was purposely angry at Bill Barr for not arresting them. I'm not making this up either. He did it in front of thousands of people on camera. Like, absolutely deranged. Absolutely deranged.
To allow for governments to have their run and then step away, and we can't be just.
Yeah. Also, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez privately talked about how they'll be on a list for primary challenges if they vote with Republicans. I think that's fine. This is fine. This is not what Dave Rubin is talking about, where Democrats have a list and they're going to systematically destroy everyone on the list. This is just making her political opponents within the party aware that she's coming for them. And she's watching, and she's actually going to hold them accountable. I don't think this is a problem. Can you turn on the subtitles for the video? Absolutely. I sometimes I just forget. Thank you for reminding me. If someone might have done something illegal, they should be on trial to be judged, no matter the side. I agree. Wait. Actually, no. Because everyone might have done something illegal, right? There has to be reasonable suspicion, reasonable cause to put them on trial. Why are people mad at her? Well, because she's a Latina in politics. Yeah. Well, yeah, but the Lincoln Project's more from your side, my dude. It's understandable when the Lincoln Project says they're keeping a list because they're conservatives. Yeah, I mean, you do need proof to convict someone in court. This is true. Oh no, the Lincoln Project is absolutely conservative. It's literally run by people from the George W. Bush administration. Yeah. Um Hello, Shield Bro. Love how the right is trying to make the case there should be no repercussion for how much shittier we've been for the last 4 years under Trump. Absolutely. Um, absolutely. And also, welcome to the stream. I hope you are having a good night or morning, wherever you are on the planet. Um, I don't think they're conservative, at least from the articles I've read from them. Okay, well, here we go. Lincoln. Link. Can't spell tonight or ever. Let's take a look. The Lincoln Project is an American political action committee formed in late 2019 by a number of former Republicans. These include George Conway, the husband of Kellyanne Conway, Steve Schmidt, who has worked on numerous Republican political campaigns, including those of President George W. Bush, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Senator John McCain. Then we have John Weaver, worked on John McCain's presidential campaigns in 2000 and 2008. Then we have Rick Wilson, former member of the Republican Party, who was a political strategist and media consultant. Then we have Jennifer Horn. She is literally was an elected or a nominated Republican politician. I don't think she won office. Yeah, but she primaried as a Republican in the past. All of these people are Republicans from different administrations and different times. Some of them just renounced their Republicanness so that they could have a good facade for their organization. This is not very difficult. They're very much Republicans. Oh, also, Jennifer Horn is a former chair of the New Hampshire Republican Party. Then we have a few other people who were former political directors for the California Republican Party. Yeah, we've got a lot of people. We got a lot of people here who used to be Republicans or are Republicans currently. Yeah. Good night, Ashley. Thank you so much for being on the stream, okay? Isn't Michael Steele part of the I mean, probably. I was just talking about a couple of the founders. Eugene Debs is pretty based and cool. What is even a Dem? The Dems go from neoliberal to social democrats. In any other countries, the party wouldn't hold together. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't. The neolibs basically declare war on the social democrats and socialists in the party. So it's really hard to operate in there, but I think it's the best path forward to power in the United States. So until we get ranked choice voting, we got to deal with the two-party system. Hello, holy folk. I hope you're having a good day, and thank you very much for following. I appreciate it greatly.
Facing everybody. And by the way, once you break that seal and you start going after the people before you, well, then, of course, what you've welcomed is that someone will come for you as well. All right, but if Biden wins,
maybe.
I think first that will be the main messaging. America is somehow back. the world likes us again, we like ourselves again. And then I think what you'll also see is that coronavirus will slightly start disappearing. Now that, I think you can argue this one either way, because on one hand,
I hate conservatives on this topic. I hate them so much. I hate them so very, very much. Let's just take a look at the total number of cases today in the United States. Yeah. So, November 12th, we had 163,000 people get infected. Yeah, it'll just disappear slowly because of Democrats. It's fucking Happy, please don't test me on this. It is the biggest hoax of all time. Okay? Happy, we've already had somebody in here who is like absolutely adamant that hospitals were overblowing the number of cases to get more money. And like, here's the thing. Yeah, the Lincoln Project is conservative. It's a conservative organization. You can be conservative and anti-Trump. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. No, they don't report every death as a COVID death, because if they did, they would be breaking so many laws, and it would be so easy to prove. And if they were breaking that many laws, they would go to fucking jail. Like, if you have evidence of this, Happy, please take it to your local authorities, because it would be one of the biggest stories of the year. You should break this. But if you don't have evidence of it, then you're just repeating some weird propaganda piece that has been debunked by like every local news organization in the country. Literally, they get the same amount of money for people who have COVID-19 as they do for everyone else. I mean, like, you can look this up yourself. If you, whoa, Happy, before you get banned, I want to tell you, before you say anything else on this topic, if you have evidence that this is happening, please send a link to one of my mods. Please send a link to one of my mods before you say anything else about, about coronavirus deaths being misreported. Send an actual link to an actual source, and I'll look at it, okay? Otherwise, you're just spouting bullshit in my chat, and I would prefer that you didn't do that.
Biden was really ramping up the fear around it and talking about, you know, a national lockdown and everything else. But my personal suspicion about corona is that once the system gets what it wants, if it gets,
I don't care. How about you send me a link with information in it that is proving your claim? Please source your claim that is indicative of widespread misrepresentation, or I don't care if it was on TV. Find me an actual link that backs up your claim. Otherwise, you're just spouting bullshit. That you need to prove it to me. I can say I saw Independence Day on TV and it was a documentary. Like, I can say what, oh, okay, it was on TV every day. How about, okay, then it should be really easy for you to find a source. It should be really easy for you to find a source for me. So, yeah, there you go. If it's on TV every day, it should be really easy for you to find a source to prove to me that somehow every hospital in this country is in on some sort of large-scale conspiracy to misreport COVID-19 deaths. Yes, please prove to us that COVID-19 is fake and not an actual problem. It would set many people's minds at ease. Didn't say conspiracy. No, Happy, in order for what you are saying to be true, it would require a massive conspiracy on the level that we have never seen in the United States, with every hospital collaborating and in on this conspiracy in order for it not to be caught. So you need to like have proof here that there is some sort of wide-scale conspiracy. Otherwise, you're just full of hot air. Didn't say it is fake, just that the numbers aren't real. Again, that is your claim. The numbers aren't real. You have to prove to me that the numbers aren't real. Okay? You showing me one case is not proving to me the numbers aren't real. You need to show me that there is widespread misinformation on this topic, and you can't, because you're all the evidence for it is bullshit. So that's the point. So if you're gonna say anything and flap your mouth, please have evidence to back up your claim.
That's what it wants. In a Biden win, I think suddenly we're going to start seeing that things start opening up again, and that states will start opening up again, and
Again, happy? You're not banned. You've just been put on timeout, okay? I need you to understand. The next thing that I see from you, if it's related to COVID-19, should be a link to one of my mods that they can post in the chat to prove to us what you are saying is true. Otherwise, you're free to talk on other topics, but otherwise, you're probably going to be banned because you can't get this simple idea through your head. If you're going to make a claim in chat, be able to back it up with a link to something, and literally anything that could back this up. It's not a hard idea, okay? So when you get back into chat, if you come back, I just want you to provide evidence for your extremely wild and conspiratorial claim, okay? Revolt Rise, that would be amazing. Yeah, exclamation point Rona. I honestly didn't think I would have this much trouble talking about even anything anecdotally, like just like tangent. I almost used anecdotally wrong. I didn't think I would have this much trouble talking about COVID-19 cases. Like even things that are like tangentially close to COVID-19 bring these people out, and it's wild. It's wild to me.
and I don't think it was a grand.
I saw COVID-19 voting for Joe Biden 14,000 times. I seen it with my own eyes. Virus, it colluded together, forming a material human person, signed a name of a dead person, and turned in the ballot. I seen it. I seen it. See, William of Orange, this is the thing. I think the correct solution is by protecting lives, but so many of the people on your side don't even think that people are actually dying from it. Oh yeah, the coronavirus used a fake ID too. True.
And conspiracy to say that the lockdowns, especially in the blue states, had something to do with trying to take out Trump as much as possible. So I think you can argue it either way. On one hand, they've really ramped up the fear, and people seem to like the lockdowns. They like being controlled. And on the other hand, it's like, oh, but they accomplished their goal. We got Biden.
So, just Dave Rubin saying people like lockdowns. No, I don't like lockdowns. It fucking sucks to be in a lockdown. I haven't seen my friends in like 10 months. It's really not fun. I would like to be out dancing and shaking my booty and dressing like a slut. I would like to be doing these things. But I can't because I want to be safe and I want to protect my loved ones. And I know that that's more important than me having fun and enjoying life. I'm really sorry, Teja. My sister, her daughter, and grandkids live in Texas. They just got COVID. It is real. They thought it was no big deal until they got it. Yeah. Revolt Rise has had it, and it really messed him up. So, yeah, we have a lot of people here who have had it. my grandma's in a nursing home or an assisted living facility, and they just had two cases get into the facility, and it's not great, not great. I'm worried about her. She's like 97 years old. Um, I think it's fair to say we still need to produce shit. The economy still needs to work, and we have to balance those two things against each other. I mean, I think that are ways we can do those things without getting people killed. I guess that's my position. We can do these things without getting people killed. Having service industry jobs continue to run during a pandemic is absolutely insane to me. So, yeah. Um, let's see. I've just graduated and companies aren't hiring. COVID sucks for everyone, but you got to do what you got to do. Lives don't have a price. True. Also, BRLC, hello, welcome to the chat. I don't know if I've welcomed you before, but I hope you're having a good time. And also, like, you seem like a good person, and I feel ya. I had my paycheck, or like my income, I guess, slashed by about 75% this year, and I've just kind of been throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks. And not gonna lie, there is definitely a tiny part of me that hopes that this channel takes off and I can just make a decent living doing this. But obviously, with only 500 people following me, that's not gonna happen. But you know, we're growing pretty fast. You never know. And I genuinely do want to change the world, so we're gonna need a whole lot of people following. Okay. Um, let's keep going.
So now let's return. Um, I think one of the other things that I'm really worried about if Biden wins.
Dang, Oakland Jedi, thank you very much for the 5 gifted Tier 1 community subs. That's amazing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it incredibly much. Thank you.
Big tech will now have nothing
Thank
to
you.
fear. So you can even see with this election, and last week they had those.
Wait, what?
I think one of the other things that I'm really worried about if Biden wins is that big tech will now have nothing to fear.
I'm pretty sure Democrats want to break up big tech. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty mainstream position. I'm not sure where Biden is on that though.
So you can even see with this election, and last week they had those silly Senate hearings with big tech, and it was like, all right, it's just theater. I like you, Ted Cruz, but it's just theater because you're not going to do anything before the election. And then what happened? Well, we're seeing tweets taken down left and right. I woke up this morning, I had like 6 emails from Twitter about warnings about my tweets, and that people were reporting them. You only get the report emailed to you if like a high-level person reports it, because otherwise every single one of my tweets is reported by a bunch of genderless anime avatar losers. So like they're clearly going to make the move, right?
Whoa, Dave Rubin, what do you have against anime losers? Okay, I feel called out as a weeb.
Like, and this is what when I make all my Star Wars references, one of the things I kept saying was, well, if Biden gets in, if the machine starts taking over again, and we've had this battle, two-sided battle, but now the machine takes over, Biden, big tech, the Democrats, big tech. Well, why wouldn't you just shut down half of the people? You shut down the droid army. That's the analogy that I've been using here. And in essence, I think that big tech at that point would just begin the purge. Like, why wouldn't they? Why would you allow for all of these bad people who mainstream will call Hitler and racists and accomplices and all of these things? So I think big tech will be emboldened to do bad stuff. But there
like Republicans are in favor of big tech doing bad stuff, right? Like, Republicans had 4 years to rein in big tech and they didn't do anything about it. Yeah, like, Republicans are against regulation. Republicans want big tech to have no restrictions. This is a weird point for him to make, but okay.
There are some reasons that maybe things could be somewhat okay, which is that the Republicans actually did pretty decently down ticket, assuming they keep the Senate.
They
Well,
did,
then, whatever
unfortunately.
this machine is, I don't think Biden's in charge of it. The Biden, Harris, Clinton, Obama, bleh, whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Companies do only care about making more money. That's why you do need a strong government to keep them in check. In capitalism. My solution, of course, to companies only caring about making more money would be that we just transition them to worker co-ops. I think we should transition to a predominantly worker co-op model. I think it would solve a lot of our problems.
This thing is, it's going to have, some bulwark against it, which is a Republican Senate. But, I don't know, can the Republicans actually stand up to anything without Trump, or are they just like a bunch of impotent losers? I don't know.
Dave Rubin, Republicans are just impotent losers. There you have it, folks. There you have it. Dave Rubin, impotent loser.
And again, this is why I've never considered myself a Republican in all of this, right?
Like, sorry. He's a classical liberal. I forgot. He's like Tim Pool.
Absolutely supported Trump, especially in the last couple of weeks, because I thought he was the best vehicle to just keep breaking this thing so we could try to rebuild something good. But I never have once said that I'm a Republican, because these guys are pretty unimpressive.
Happy you realize that, like, Republicans literally campaign on getting rid of regulations for companies, right? Like, deregulating is like the big thing for Republicans. He's socially and physically conservative. He's as conservative. Absolutely. Yeah, regulations don't help big companies the most. Big companies hate regulations. That's why they dislike Democrats. Yeah, okay. I mean, personally, I like clean drinking water. I don't like companies dumping toxic sewage into my water systems. But, like, I mean, it's okay if you have, like, a thirst for toxic sewage. That's okay. No, they love them because they hit their small competition. No, they don't. If you're a big company, you already have more than enough money to crush your small competition, okay? Like, that's literally what Walmart does. Walmart goes into a town, they underprice their competition at a loss until their competition folds, and then they jack up their prices. That's literally the model for basically every big business at the moment. It's what Uber does, it's what Lyft does, it's what a lot of these places do.
As a group of people, do they have the better ideas?
Wait. Per those links that Nanoeconomics shared, reservations are down 60% before the lockdowns. People are naturally locking themselves down regardless of leadership setting lockdown policies. Yeah. It just helps when the leadership does implement lockdown policies. But, like, yeah, what we're experiencing is demand shock. And demand shock is basically when we don't have any demand because people aren't going to go out and buy shit in the middle of a pandemic that could kill them. Like, this is why during pandemics, economic activity doesn't really resume until after the pandemic is done. Yeah. Okay, yes, true. They will do this if they have competition and they can outlast it. They will also break regulations when they have enough money to pay for it and they view it as something that will be profitable. So, yeah. No, Blockbuster genuinely didn't think that Netflix was a problem until they started losing money. Blockbuster was horribly mismanaged. Yeah. Like, Blockbuster was like the biggest thing in the planet. They could have just bought Netflix and destroyed it.
View than the Democrats at this point? Well, of course they do, but that doesn't mean they do anything, really. So I think we'll have an emboldened big tech. We'll have,
exactly,
hopefully some level of Republican resistance. And then I think what that then leads to is some interesting things. You know what, I'm going to move, Michael, I'm going to move our third story up to now, actually, because There were some demographic things, and then I'll get to what happens if Trump wins in just a sec. But there were some demographic things that were super interesting in the midst of all this. So the LGBTQ vote, it's a
Oh, can you
lot of
please
letters. I
never
could have
say
thrown
that
an I
again?
in there. It's unclear to me how the Q
What?
is.
What? Uh, it's one more letter than you're used to saying. It's one more letter than you're used to saying, Dave Rubin. Are you incapable of saying 5 letters in a row? Does he just go A, B, C, D, and then he stops out of principle? I don't I don't understand this man at all. Holy shit, guys. William of Orange, I feel like you're deliberately misunderstanding point 14, but that's okay. You keep being mad about it. You'll change Umberto Eco's mind, okay? Um Oh yeah, I mean perfect markets never existed in the first place. Um and like I would say that generally markets trend towards monopolies under capitalism. Under capitalism, they trend towards monopolies. Under other economic systems, they don't. Hello, Sam Just Sam. How are you doing? And welcome to the chat. I hope you're having a great time. What other economic systems? Well, you realize capitalism hasn't been the predominant economic system for all of human history, right? Like we had feudalism before that. We had like bartering. We had like the predecessor to capitalism, proto-capitalism was mercantilism. Like yeah, we've had other economic systems. There's also socialism, which is why I'm a market socialist. Yeah, like there have been plenty of other systems that have markets in them. Um, oh yeah, our markets are totally fucked. I mean, I'm a market socialist, so I definitely think market socialism would be better. And by the way, Marx also agreed with us. Like if you've ever read like Karl Marx, basically Karl Marx was like, hey, feudalism really sucked, but you know what was great? Capitalism. Capitalism was an improvement over feudalism. And I think that maybe we could make some improvements to capitalism if instead of bosses running like bosses running a factory, instead we had workers collectively running the factory. I think that would improve things if we, you know, collectively just owned our workplace. And would that require force? No. No, it would not. In fact, Happy, we actually have things that work this way right now in America, and they're called worker co-ops. And all the research we have on them indicates they're about 10% more efficient. They have happier workers. The profits are more equitably distributed, so you don't have one asshole on the top who's making like 3 million times what your average workers are making. Yeah. Then what if I don't want to give it? Well, you don't have to give it. That's the thing. You would have a system in place to transition over a long period of time. Are these co-ops consensual? Yes. Slavery is illegal in the United States, my dude, unless you're a prisoner. Then I won't. Well, good. You don't have to. I'm not telling you you have to. Wait, Happy, do you own a small business? Or do you own a business? Then they're capitalist? No, they operate within a market. They operate within capitalism, but they're not capitalist. My family does? Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to force your family to sell their business unless, and here's my policy, unless they need a government bailout. In that case, yeah, in order to get the bailout, they might have to transition to become a worker co-op. If it's consensual, it is capitalism? No. Markets were consensual before capitalism, my dude. If men were angels, there'd be no need for government. True. We don't want government bailouts. Yeah, but like large companies like Boeing tend to want government bailouts, and they tend to get them. So my position is just generally that we're going to bail out companies, we should bail them out and have them transition to worker co-ops because they're more efficient, again, more equitable for everyone involved, and they produce more for the economy. And generally, a worker co-op isn't going to vote to move their company overseas, you know? Um, true, true. I am against subsidies and bailouts, but also against taxes. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's a form of theft from the people. I don't think so. I think the government represents like the communal will of the people in a democracy, or at least it's supposed to. Um, and I think if we collectively agree that we should, do certain things that are in the public interest, I think that's good. I just think that our current democracy is largely kind of controlled by private companies and special interests, and I think that that's generally a bad thing. Um, yeah, also, if you want to trade in dollars, you need to pay taxes. True. Oh, Rave Dubin, the useful idiot of the right. True. We're taking him in small doses because holy shit, I can't watch an entire video of him. Also, I need to use the bathroom. I will be right back because I have drunk mucho of this water. If the majority agrees to something, something is okay. It doesn't make it okay. It should in a democracy, though. I think that in a democracy, that's how it should work. That literally all of the other forms of government in human history were ruled by the minority. So yeah, maybe rule by the majority is better. Like, yeah, I think the government should work to the benefit of the majority of people. Yeah, I think that's okay. He's a Dubin. True. Okay, you guys don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I need to use the bathroom. Something fierce, and I love you all very much. I'm gonna run some ads. Happy. I don't think the majority of people right now would agree that slavery was okay, and I don't think the majority of people agreed that slavery was okay back when we, had the Civil War. So, anyway, let's move on. Did that make it okay? Well, it's a democracy, and it's an improvement over feudalism. So, like, what? Do you want a monarchy again? Because monarchs have a small, like, rule by minority? No. No, you don't. You don't want that, do you? Yeah. Also, I don't want a monarchy. Also, I might be open to the dissolution of the state on a long enough time scale. So, like, my glasses so I look more professional. The lesbian sects. True. Interesting to talk about as well. Mighty Sasquatch, that's just the same thing. True. Space lesbians. I like where we're going. We can write collectively. We'll write a screenplay. Okay. Lesbian insects. Lesbian insect space lesbians. I love this. I love this idea. Mod ban them now. Yeah, I mean that's basically let me teach you why you're wrong. Ban them now. Wait, did you guys ban Happy? No, it looks like Happy's still here. Okay, that's good. Yes and no, it's a democratic republic. We can't have social issues like climate change up to popular vote. That's just stupid. Or COVID. I mean, I think we should, yeah. I think like if we left these things up to the popular vote, we would have Medicare for all. We would have action taken against climate change. Yeah, we'd solve a lot of problems with the popular vote. Most people in this country want to do things for COVID. Yeah. Yeah. We would yeah, we would be doing okay. Um, are you familiar with NI4D? No, I have no idea what that is. Um, they have said creative racist things that would have been better. Um, in Switzerland, you vote for laws every 3 months at the very least. Oh, that's interesting. What does the NI4D stand for? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Wait. Yep. We were here.
I'll get to what happens if Trump wins in just a sec. But there were some demographic things that were super interesting in the midst of all this. So the LGBTQ vote, it's a lot of letters. I could have thrown an I in there. Cool. It's unclear to me how the Q is different than the other letters. But that LGBTQ vote, you know what, I'm going to move, Michael, I'm going to move our third in the midst of all this. So the LGBTQ.
I will give him $500 to never say this again.
Vote. It's a lot of letters. I could have thrown an I in there. It's unclear to me how the Q is different than the other letters, but that.
Okay. I guess you guys really want to see. You really want to see Dave Rubin. I understand. But also, like, he doesn't understand what the Q means. Dave Rubin, it means queer. It means queer. It's a catch-all term. You should know this. You're gay. You should know this. It's a catch-all term for queer. It's to include other people who might fall under the umbrella, or it's kind of like including everybody who's not straight or not cis. This isn't hard to understand. I don't get it. Can we speed him up so he sounds like Mickey Mouse? Yeah, this is painful to watch.
LGBTQ vote in 2016 for Trump, it was 13%, and it more than doubled to 28%. So Trump did.
Wow, he sounds like a normal human being when I speed him up. What if I go faster?
Pretty well with the gays. This guy that they said hated the gays, even though when I met him that day, he was thrilled that we were there and said he couldn't care less. So he more than doubled with the gays.
Yes, Dave, it's because you're the token gay. Yes. They're going to be nice to you.
Black men went from 14% to 20%. That's pretty significant, right? And black women actually doubled from 4 to 8.
Yeah,
so
now he sounds like
20%
Ben
and the 8%. It's not that those are huge numbers, but it does show you that the traditional, you cannot vote for a Republican if you're this, but that thing may be breaking right now. And no matter what happens to Trump after this, I think you'd have to credit him for that, right? Well, you don't have to do anything, right? They'll always figure out a way around it. But I think that might be his greatest legacy, especially if come 2022, if we have, 2 years of Democratic rule and Biden brings back critical race theory and they bring back Title IX and the riots continue because the anarchists and the riot.
Okay, guys, do you know what critical race theory means, guys? It's really not that complicated. All it is acknowledging that different racial groups in America have had different experiences in America. I'm starting to get convinced by his smart arguments. Oh no. But yeah, this is not a good point. We shouldn't teach that different racial groups have had different experiences in America. Anarchists are going to riot. Anarchists aren't going to riot. Are you kidding me? Maybe we should just, address the police violence, which is what they were protesting against. Dave's shtick is to play stupid about what certain terminology means, even when people know he should know better. Yeah, I mean, this entire video has been so much nothing. At all. It's just been him being wrong about things, very obviously, and then, taking forever to just be wrong.
Riot people, whatever they are, they don't like Biden, they don't like the Democrats, but he'll just do nothing about it. And the states will do nothing about it.
Yes, it's very common for states and the government to do nothing when people riot. It's very common. It's a very common tactic by lefties.
I think there are promising signs in that regard. As I said before, even the Muslim vote was very high for Trump, relative to years past. So there's good signs here. Okay, so that's it. Biden.
By the way, it's true. It's true. Trump did improve across a number of demographics, and I find that very perplexing. But yeah, I think this is a case where class interests won out. Rich gays like Dave Rubin voted for Donald Trump. Rich Muslims voted for Donald Trump. I think this is a very easy thing to answer. People are willing to, abandon their secondary identities in order to protect their primary identities. And there are a lot of people in the United States, in particular, who primarily identify as rich before anything else. After they get money, they identify as rich before any other identity. All right. Jesse Lee Peterson. Yeah. JLP is Jesse Lee.
If Biden wins, I think basically the forces, at least that I have been fighting against, I think they get emboldened, but I think there are some ways that they don't go completely bananas. And perhaps, and I would love for this to happen, perhaps those last sliver of good liberals actually feel kind of emboldened with Biden, and then they actually do push back on the woke nonsense. I don't see that there's any evidence that can happen, and the wokeism just destroys everything. So will Harvard suddenly become a little better now? Will the New York Times...
Does Dave Rubin, I genuinely don't know if, Dave Rubin is a grifter. I mean, undoubtedly he is, but, I genuinely don't know to what extent he believes his own grift. Does he genuinely think that the left has gone too far on woke nonsense? Because, he also seems stupid enough to believe it. So I get confused at where the line is. But I wish he would understand that, the woke nonsense is what allows him to be gay in conservative spaces.
Become a little bit better? Will any of these people who run around calling everybody racist become a little bit better? I don't think so, but I suppose there is a chance, and I'm trying to give you guys a little silver lining today. I want to pull up this tweet by, before we get to Trump, I want to pull up this tweet by Megyn Kelly, and I will be interviewing Megyn Kelly later today just to sort of break down the media take on.
Wait. He'll be interviewing Megyn Kelly? Isn't Megyn Kelly on his show?
What is the Rubin report?
Oh, okay. So I guess he's just... Wait, has he just interviewed her multiple times? And they broke it up into 3 different segments? Is that what happened? I guess so. Yeah. Huh. He looks coked out. All right.
On this whole thing, because as I would tell you guys, I think the media take on it and the level at which we get information is sort of more important at some level than the level of what actually is happening. It's only happening if we can only actually get the information. So Megyn, let's throw this tweet up. She had an interesting tweet. She said, Pelosi says Biden has a huge mandate. Really? Dems losing seats when supposed to gain them in her chamber. DN gain control of Senate. Saw DT, Donald Trump, win more votes than ever with minority groups and did not see the promised blue wave. Truth will prevail in January when gridlocks.
Joe Biden got more votes than any Democratic president in the history of America. Yeah, Joe Biden does have a huge mandate. He has more votes than any other presidential contender has ever had. Dems are powerful, so powerful they can rig the election, but they're not powerful enough to rig the Senate or the House. True, apparently. Also, hello, MurderCom, and welcome to the chat. I hope you have a good time, okay? This was streamed Monday? What? When was this video put out? It was put out on November 6th, yeah. Oh, Friday, I guess. All right. But, yeah, I mean, Biden does have a huge mandate. But also... Yeah, Dems did lose Senate and House seats. I don't. This isn't mutually exclusive.
Settles in. So the reason I thought that was interesting was because Pelosi's already saying this is a huge mandate, and it's like, well, the facts are that it's not really a huge mandate. No matter what happens, it's not a huge mandate. But let's also admit, right?
It's not a huge mandate at all. It's just 77.4 million people. Not a huge mandate at all. 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 This is just hot Joe Biden looking at you without his huge mandate. Joe Biden looks so hot with the beard. It's really dumb how much more attractive it makes him. To all the people who wrote in Kanye on their ballot, why? Do you think he will last 4 years? Probably. He's thinking of Joe's mandate. Let's see, if they can get COVID under wraps and get a stimulus out and keep people from being evicted, the economy could be primed pretty solid. They have a lot of he's not 79, he's 77. He's literally like less than 3 years older than Trump, my dude. And Donald Trump is talking about running in 2024. So like I don't know, my dude. Yeah, this is the smile of a man with a huge mandate. But he looks 90. Are you kidding me? He looks like the most interesting man in the world. Yeah. It's yeah, he just looks like this guy. Look at that. Look at, yeah, he looks like this guy. He looks fine. Wait, do I want links? Yeah, I mean, okay, but I guess Trump is a spry 74-year-old? Yeah, okay. Anyway. Do I want links? Well, if you have links to prove some of your points, sure. Send them to whisper them to a mod. Send them sweet nothings, Happy.
Right, Nancy, could you admit that you guys never gave Trump a mandate for even 1 day, right? You ran with Russia collusion hoax the entire time, which is so funny. The same people who ran.
Does Dave know what a mandate is? Does Dave? I don't think Dave is using the word mandate correctly here. Usually when people use the word mandate, they're talking about the mandate of the people, as in like you know, the approval, the permission of the people. That's usually what people mean when they're talking about the mandate, which is why Joe Biden, having won the most votes that any president has ever won in the history of America, would have a large mandate. He's in high prime. Happy, you need to whisper the link to one of the mods, okay? Archangel is in chat. He's offering for you. What the fuck? The president is supposed to have absolute power. That's what screwed the USA over.
And with a Russian collusion hoax that led to a fake impeachment, a faux impeachment. They're the ones that saying right now, no. They're
actually the impeachment was real. He got impeached. He just didn't get convicted.
Be nothing wrong with our election system right now. The Russians somehow hacked it last time, and Trump had something to do with it, right? And we're going to run on that for years and undermine all of the systems. But right now, it's going our way. So the system is perfect. The system is perfect. I'm seeing a ton of hypocrisy.
No, Democrats, like leftists, still want to get rid of the Electoral College. The Electoral College is still awful. Also, if we just went by majority vote, the Electoral College we'd still win. We'd still win, Dave Rubin.
On that one. The same people. The system's evil. It's corrupt. It's broken. It's Russian influence. Now, because they're getting the results they want, dude, best system ever. Best system ever. It's just incredible, amazing.
It's awful.
Absolutely staggering. Okay. So I thought that was interesting, and as I said, I'll be interviewing Megan later today. We'll have some clips up tomorrow. The full will be on Sunday, and as always, it'll be early on the Blaze and on Rubin.
I mean, Happy, wait, what point did you want to make with your link? I thought it was a link to like evidence of something. Are you just linking to like Biden stuttering? Because like, you know, he has a stuttering problem, right? He has for like his entire life.
Okay, so now let's talk about if Trump wins. Now, first off, we have to lay out, I suppose, a scenario that Trump can win, because the media is itching to call this thing right now, and the states are trying to do everything they can to make it happen. So Trump winning, so if Biden wins, whatever that means.
Because you said he looked great. Well, he does, with a beard. Without a beard, he doesn't look great. But beard Biden is a different beast. You don't understand. If you're not a woman, you don't understand, okay? I just don't think that is very bright. I mean, he's 77 and he's 77 and he's you know, also got a stuttering problem, so I'm sure he has a way of misspeaking. 3 ways Joe Biden could cancel student loans. Cancel student loans through legislation. I don't know why I'm looking at this, by the way. I don't have a beard fetish, okay? I don't have a beard fetish. I just have some men look better in beards. It's true. Through legislation, cancel student loans in a stimulus package. That'd be nice. Cancel student loans through executive action. Oh, interesting. Higher Education Act, congressional legislation includes student loans, authorizes U.S. Secretary of Education to cancel student loan debt. Opponents of this argument claim that under separation of powers, only Congress has the power of the purse. Therefore, only Congress can decide whether to cancel student loans. Interesting. But then why would this legislation give the Secretary of Education the power to cancel student loan debt? Bears too. True. It costs nothing to do. True. Maybe in that one Photoshop professional photo, but in video he looks like he is gonna die. My dude, have you seen Trump and his dump truck ass? Like, yeah, no, they're both in awful health. But also, yeah, the picture of him with the beard, he looks hot. I'm sorry. Look at this. I don't think they touched up the rest of his face all that much. This is basically just Joe Biden. But I don't know if he can deal with the stress. My dude, if Donald Trump can deal with the stress and he has like the like mind of a child, I think Joe Biden can handle it. Like, wait, you think Donald Trump is far brighter? Are you kidding me? The dude went bankrupt like 16 times. You don't go bankrupt if you're smart, and he did it 16 times with millions of dollars from his daddy. Gonna be fun when with old Joe starting wars. Yay. I don't know. I hope he doesn't start any wars. But if he does, I hope he has a beard. It'll at least make it a little bit more bearable, okay? Eagles and cycling. He's a warmonger. Yeah, but I mean, most of our presidents are, so it's not that big of a change of pace. Did Trump start wars? Donald Trump certainly did, just not directly. Yeah, like, remember when we pulled out and abandoned our allies to get slaughtered? Do you remember that? When we left left the Kurds to get slaughtered in the Middle East? Do you remember when we bombed Yemen for the Saudis? Yeah, we've been at war for a long time. We've been doing interventions all over the place across the Middle East. Donald Trump has done more drone strikes than Obama ever did. Yeah. These are things. These are, yeah. Wait, I thought you were against intervention? Yeah, I am. Really? First time I hear that? Yeah, no, Donald Trump did more drone strikes than Obama, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Under Donald Trump, drone strikes far exceed Obama's numbers. Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, we're not going to read the rest of that article, I guess. I'll post the link in chat if you want to look at it, I guess. You're going to hop out and watch some COD? All right. It was nice having you, Slade. But like, wait. Where was this? Where did I get this? Which tab did I get this from? Here I did. Here it is. All right. Also in 2019, and maybe this is a bit strange, but here we go. Look, Trump revokes Obama rule on reporting drone strike deaths. Yeah. So, we don't actually know how many people Donald Trump has killed with drone strikes. Weird. Weird. Yeah. There have been 2,243 drone strikes in the first 2 years of Trump's presidency, compared with the 1,878 under Mr. Obama's 8 years in office. So, yeah, he's done quite a bit more, I think, over the course of 4 years. It's all good. Wait. I'll post the BBC article in chat. There you go. You guys can look at this too. It's a lot of bombs. It's a lot of drones. It's true. It's true. Okay. Enough of hot Biden. Hot warmongering Biden, okay? I mean, I don't know what study is a lot are already biased. Wait, what? I don't know what study is a lot are already biased. Like that one about environmental issues where when someone answered that they don't think the world is about to end, they were labeled as environmentally irresponsible. Yeah. No, you understand that, like, in the next 20 years, like, we're going to see hundreds of millions of, like, climate change refugees, and then, like, 20 years after that, it's going to be, like, 1 billion people displaced by rising water. Like, yeah. Miami's going to be underwater soon. Hey, folks, Joe is going to unite the U.S. and the world, fix COVID, repair the environment, add 18 million new jobs, end racism. Hey, I mean, I hope so. As a socialist, I don't have much faith that he will, but, you know, I'm here. That's why I'm here, to advocate for my position and maybe make a difference in the world. I want a Hunter Biden body pillow. Oh, geez. Miss Dinosaur. Well, actually, no, I get it. Hunter's kind of hot. It's true. Miami should already be underwater. Ethically, I mean. True. They said that 30 years ago? No, they didn't. They didn't say that 30 years ago. Seven out of 9 Miami's freshwater wells are contaminated with saltwater and unusable. True. I mean, like, people like Happy, though, aren't going to believe that climate change is, like, a real threat until cities like Miami go underwater, you know? Um, it's true, tiniest boop. It's true. And I'm mostly gay. It's true. They said it about some islands. They're still looking live and well. Yeah, they're not. They're not going to be though. Is the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, you're not going to be convinced until there's like 50 million climate change refugees within the continental United States. I get it. I understand where you're at. It's just kind of a ridiculous thing. And I really wish people like you wouldn't stop fighting us on just trying to improve the environment so that, we don't all die. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. Um, Yeah, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but apparently the time Miami has left is about 80 years at most. So, I don't know. Oh, wait, it could be underwater in 30 years, actually. That's interesting. Neat. Hey, look, here's a list of 15 cities in the US that will be underwater by 2050. Awesome. Wait. Why? Okay, all right. Miami, Florida. Yep. Atlantic City. Yep. Key West. Yep. Let's see. As an island city, this shouldn't come as a shock that Key West is likely to be one of the first U.S. cities to start flooding thanks to rising sea levels. By 2060, it's estimated that over 60% of the livable land here will be flooded, rising to nearly 95% in 2100. Awesome. If you want to see Hemingway's house or Mallory Square, better do it before it's underwater, bitch. Galveston, Texas. Seattle, Washington. St. Pete Beach, Florida. Tybee Beach, Georgia. Yeah, I mean, like, we're going to lose a lot of cities here in the United States. Those people are going to go somewhere. I don't know. I hope we figure this stuff out so they don't have to move. Can I give you a link explaining why we don't have to spend 90 trillion on climate change? Sure, my dude. Send me a climate change denial link, please. Please send it to one of my mods. I would love nothing better than to delay my return to a Dave Rubin video. You see, the ocean has a liberal bias. We live in a society. I mean, it's a YouTube video.
Here he is, dipping.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can watch this video. I do like this one. This is a good video.
His webbed flippers into the pool of climate change with his signature Shapiro intellect.
So let's say, for the sake of argument, that all of the water levels around the world rise by let's say 5 feet over the next 100 years, say 10 feet by the next 100 years, and it puts all the low-lying areas on the coast underwater, right? Which, let's say all of that happens. You think that people aren't going to just sell their homes and move?
Just one small problem. Sell their houses to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman!
I enjoyed that. Oh, subtitles, please. I'm sorry. I, for whatever reason, they should be on automatically. I don't know why they keep turning off. But also, I'm pretty sure if Miami is underwater, it's not going to be a livable city anymore. I'm pretty sure if Miami goes below sea level, it's not going to be okay. All right. Okay, you linked me a video that has me started already. All right, this is who? John Stossel? Who's John Stossel? Search Google for John Stossel. Who is John Stossel? Let's see. Oh, gee whiz, he's almost as old as Joe Biden. He's 73 years old. I've been told you can't be sharp at this old. Let's see. People also search for Rand Paul. That's a great sign. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look. I guess we can watch this. Anything to keep me away from Dave Rubin. All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Wow, if you ever wanted a masterclass in confirmation bias, just read what Trump supporters are now saying. My dude, I don't have to go out and look for it. They come to me. Also, hello, Mike Oxmall. I hope you're having a great day.
This environmental catastrophe bearing down on us.
I keep hearing that we're killing the earth.
How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood.
But wait, I've been a consumer reporter for years. I've covered so many scares. Plague, famine, and perpetual war will kill us. We're going to run out of oil. Nuclear power will give us cancer. Killer bees swarm ever closer. Bird flu, flesh-eating bacteria. The list of terrible things that were going to get us is long. And yet we're living longer than ever. None of those scares turned out to be as frightening as the warnings. But I'm told global warming is different.
Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
Oh, this is the guy that got fired for lying.
Of a mass extinction.
The alarmists have evidence that supports their fears. Temperature is rising. The UN predicts that it'll rise another 2 to 5 degrees.
What do we do in the land we live on is under attack?
But does that justify the fear?
Climate change is not a lie, so please don't let our planet die.
Does it justify this claim?
We have 12 years to act.
We have 12 years.
We have 12 years before the effects are irreversible.
Really? 12 years?
It's warmed up around 1 degree Celsius since 1900, and life expectancy doubled the industrialized democracies, and yet that temperature ticks up another 0.5 degree, and the entire system crashes. That's the most absurd belief.
I recently moderated this debate on climate change at the Heartland Institute. Well, not a debate, because the alarmists who were invited didn't show. Heartland invited many.
Heartland.org climate debate. Let's see. Is there... Oh! Interesting. Interesting. Okay. You know, the reason people might not show up for the Heartland Institute is that the Heartland Institute is a climate denialist group. Weird. It might be that this action tank that actively does not think that climate change is a problem might have a bias, and maybe reputable, scientists wouldn't want to show up to such a debate because it's a waste of their time and money and energy. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Cool. Yeah. Let's continue hearing out what this man has to say, who chose to moderate a debate for a climate change denialist organization.
Please come over here and sit next to that place and let's have a discussion. There are a lot more people want to hear what you have to say.
Climate alarmists never agree to debate.
We'd love to offer you the airtime. We will give it to you. I'll give you a special phone number that goes...
Climate... It's because it's not a thing worth debating. Like, guys, you understand, and this has been a problem with the way they cover, like, climate change for a very long time now. If you have one person on one side and the other person on the other side, and you give them equal time, that gives the air of credibility to the people you're debating. No. Happy, it is far more dangerous to platform absolutely ridiculous ideas and claims. Climate change is happening, climate change is bad, and climate change will destroy the planet. Now, this is backed up by 99% of the world's scientists. So then going on to a Fox News, the #1 most watched news network show in the world, and putting your views in opposition to another group's views, and having the show treat them like they're both equally credible, is absolutely gives far more credence than the opposition position deserves. Climate change denialists don't deserve equal credence to climate change scientists. If debate people openly, you would be able to prove it. Yeah, but the thing is, they have already proved it over and over again for like the last 30 years. We've known climate change is happening and the effects it could have since like the 1960s. This isn't a thing worth debating. You don't get to say how much respect people get. No, but that's why climate change scientists don't show up to climate change denialist debates, because it's not worth it, and it just gives these people the air of credibility that they don't deserve. Yeah. I'm not saying it. I'm telling you why this doesn't happen and why it's a dangerous prospect. Let me put it this way. Would you give equal credence to a Nazi's point of view and say, wow, that deserves to be on equal footing with a proud conservative's point of view? Would you say that they both deserve the equal amount of respect and time? Okay, well, I think that is fucking stupid.
To this phone.
I invited Al Gore on my show often, but he would never come.
In order to solve the climate crisis,
he makes a lot of speeches, but won't.
If an idea can't be heard, it can't be challenged. I don't know. I feel like Germany did a pretty good job stamping out Nazism in their country. Also, no, Happy, that's not actually how it works. The marketplace of ideas doesn't work like that. Whichever idea gets more attention is what will win publicly. That's how it works.
Won't respond to people who disagree. It's too bad that the alarmists won't debate, because so much of what they say deserves debate.
I love that he just keeps saying climate change alarmists instead of climate change denial, like climate change scientists, because that would mean that his side is not on the side of science, which it is assuredly not. It is absolutely not on the side of science. Also, I just have to point out, we're almost 2.5 minutes into this video, and he hasn't made any claims. So let's keep watching, I guess.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
12 years.
Well, and in 12 years, it'll be 12 more years.
David Legates is a professor of climatology at the University of Delaware. Pat Michaels is former president of the American Association of State Climatologists. Willie Soon is an astrophysicist.
It's all about arm waving, it's about emotion, about sending out kids in protest. We have nothing to do with the science.
This group pointed out that even if the planet warms by 5 degrees, humans can adjust. People in Holland did years ago.
They said, we're going to adapt to the fact that we're a low-lying country, and we're going to build these dikes, and we're going to build these pumps. Are you telling me that the people in Miami are so dumb that they're just going to sit there and drown?
You acknowledge?
Yes. Have you met people from Florida? Have you met Americans? Yeah, they'll absolutely do that. Yeah. Also, the Yorkshire Ripper is dead, and now I'll never be able to interview him. Wait, I don't know who that is. Hello, but also hello, Vivian. I hope you're having a lovely day. But also, this is relying on places that have the money and infrastructure to be able to build structures and or physically move their towns or cities away from sea level, which is not everybody. You'll notice that doesn't include everyone. Yeah, the people will just move argument. Do you know how many people are going to be displaced within the United States? Because it's in the millions. Do you know how many people are going to be displaced around the world? It's billions. And we flipped the fuck out over taking 4,000 Syrian refugees in the United States. So, like, yeah, I mean, maybe this is actually a bigger problem than they're making it out to be.
Water is rising.
Yes, water has been rising for approximately 20,000 years and probably will continue.
But we can adapt, like Holland has, except the alarmists say hurricanes and other storms are getting worse.
Yes.
It's getting stronger and stronger. The winds are getting harder and harder.
No, they aren't. You can take a look at all the hurricanes around the planet. We can see them since 1970 because we got global satellite coverage.
Right.
And we can measure their power, and we can add up their power. And there is no significant increase whatsoever. There is no relationship between hurricane activity and...
Let's find out if that's true. Look at this. Whoa. Wowie. It's good old Noah. It's waiting for it to open. It's slow openings. It's taken a while to open this tab. Boy, howdy. Let's maybe open it in a new tab. There was a freaking hurricane this week. True. I guess I will try and open a different tab. There we go. This one opened. Let's see. Oh, here we go. How useful. Look at this. Look at this. A climate change 2014 synthesis report. Got a lot of researchers here from around the world. Interesting. Let's take a look at some of what it says. Let's see. Preface. Final product of the 5th assessment report. Let's see, the scope of this report. Result of coordinated and carefully connected cross groups, working groups, efforts, blah, 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 blah. Okay, climate change structure. Okay, process, acknowledgements. Let's go on down to the findings. Let's find the findings here, okay? Here's observed changes and causes, future climate change risks and impacts. Let's see. Okay, well, let's go to observe changes in the climate system. Okay. Warming of the climate system is unequivocal. I can't talk. Since the 1950s, many observed changes are unprecedented over decades to millennia. The atmosphere and the ocean have warmed, the amounts of snow and ice have diminished, and sea level has risen. Each of the last 3 decades has been successively warmer at the Earth's surface than any preceding decade since 1850. The period from 1983 to 2012 was very likely the warmest 30-year period of the last 800 years in the Northern Hemisphere, where such assessment is possible, and likely the warmest 30-year period of the last 1,400 years, medium confidence. The globally average combined land and ocean surface temperature data is, as calculated, show a warming of 0.85 degrees over a period of 1880 to 2012, for which multiple independently produced data sets exist. The total increase between the average of the 1850 to 1900 period and the 2003 to 2012 period is 0.78, based on the single largest data set available. For the longest period when calculation of region trends is sufficiently complete, 1901 to 2012, almost the entire globe has experienced surface warming. In addition to robust multi-decadal warming, the globally average surface temperature exhibits substantial decadal. All right, yeah, certainly looks like the atmosphere is warming. Ocean warming dominates the increase in energy stored in the climate system, accounting for more than 90% of the energy accumulated between 1971 and 2010, with only about 1% stored in the atmosphere. On a global scale, ocean warming is largest near the surface, and upper 75 meter warmed by 0.11 per decade over the period between 1971. It is virtually certain that the upper ocean warmed. All right. Yep. Okay. So, yep. Look at it's warming the land and ocean surface. Sea ice extent, it's going down. Look at that. Global mean sea level change. It was going up. Super cool. Super cool stuff going on. Look at this. Energy accumulation. It's going way up. All this is super good. All right, let's go down to, let's see. Attribution of climate changes to human and natural influences on the climate system. Let's see. Extremely likely that more than half of the observed increases in global average surface temperature from 1951 to 2010 was caused by anthropogenic increase to GHG concentrations. This means that humans did it, guys. This means that humans did it. It's not that complicated. All right. So let's keep going on. Also, hello, Kezbox. I hope you had a wonderful day. Let's keep going, I guess. Likely made substantial contributions to surface temperature increase, Arctic sea loss, global water cycle, substantial contributions to global upper ocean heat. Cool. All of this is super cool. Now, let's take a look at that, I guess. I'll post this link in chat. Oh wait, you guys rated? Thank you very much, Wicked Supreme. I was being really salty and looking at a climate change study. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Kezbox, and thank you very much, Mikey Ellen. Thank you very much. You're all really wonderful. Here's the thing I'm looking at. Yeah, U.S. election officials have said the 2020 White House vote was the most secure in American. Yeah. Rejecting President Donald Trump's fraud claims. Hey. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you're having lovely times. Oh, Archangel DeKalb, you banned him. So I was watching this trash for nothing? Oh, no. Shao Mikey Ellen. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry. I'm really bad with names. I've already messed up like 5 of them today. That's awesome. Huge turnout. Bed turnout. Yep. Anyway, I guess I've already watched over half of this, so we're gonna finish this. I hope it doesn't give you all brainworms. If it does, I'm very sorry.
Butcher of the planet.
The claim that hurricanes are getting worse and the 12-year deadline. We're were 2 of 4 myths I heard the Heartland panel convincingly debunk. Myth number 3 was that government action today will save us.
We have to act now. The Obama administration's model projects that the amount of global warming that would be saved for going to zero emissions tomorrow, you don't know how to do that, put you back in the Stone Age, but let's just say we did it, would be 14/100ths of a degree Celsius.
So no real effect on the climate, but...
You'll sure have an impoverished, dark country, won't you?
Myth number 4, the idea that carbon dioxide is carbon pollution that just does harm and threatens the food supply.
There are places on Earth where it is just greening up like crazy.
So if you're really concerned about the plants, more carbon dioxide makes them not just grow faster, but also makes them more water efficient.
Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, but it also helps feed the world.
A lot of people pretend to know about climate, pretend to have studied it, pretend to come up with these...
I love that this entire video is based on footage from one panel where the opposing side didn't show up and is run by an organization that is an active climate change denialist organization. And we're just going to present all of their arguments uncritically without any pushback, I guess. Yeah.
These answers, and then make these proclamations to scare you so that you'll do what we want you to do.
It's pretty
what
convincing,
the alarmists say is not true. Why would the International Panel on Climate Change, the United Nations, go along with the exaggerations?
Governments like control. Most governments want to keep control, and most governments get bigger and bigger over time.
IPCC does stand for Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
Oh my God. Happy, this is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I didn't ban you. I was busy looking at an actual climate change study. And here, I'll even post it in chat again so you can look at it, okay? This is a link to an actual study done by scientists around the world on climate change that basically debunks every claim in this video, like hurricanes aren't affected by climate change, or like oh no, you timed him out. What did he do? Okay, there you go. Oh gosh. 0 papers studied. Yeah, it's all look. The IPCC has government in the name. This is a government conspiracy to take power. The government is coming. They want to get bigger and have more power for no reason. Because government is bad, and no government is good. Annoy me with bullshit. I'm sorry you're not feeling very well, okay?
Carbon dioxide becomes that molecule by which we can take control of your lives, of your efforts, and everything that goes on.
Are they right? It's confusing when there are so many serious people who are so worried. I wish there were a real debate.
Yeah, he's using...
Why won't the other side debate?
It's very simple. It's very simple, guys. Climate change science is pretty well established and very well backed up by the scientific community, and they don't show up to debate crackpots who don't have any arguments or data. I'll be fine tomorrow. Stomach bugs just really make me sick. I'm really sorry. Everyone I've seen banned here wasn't less than 24 hours old in every single leftist community's old news for names for most of us. I'm sorry. I am very new. I do trust your guys' judgment. What's the marketplace of free? What about the marketplace of free ideas? It's an illusion. The only reality to the marketplace of ideas is how much attention an idea gets. I would debate a panel of Alex Jones. Who do you think would win in a fight? 50 Tyrannosaurus Rexes or 10,000 Alex Joneses? How do you feel about gay frogs? Amazing. Gay frogs are the best. Are you kidding me? Also, Show Mikey Ellen, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it, okay? Even though I can't say your name, I appreciate it. Also, yeah, well, yeah, the 10,000 Alex Joneses would just fight each other. Just say, Ellen, okay, I'm sorry. Also, yeah, for those of you who are new here, my name is Jack. I'm a market socialist, and I'm not a climate scientist. I just hate climate change denialism. How about chicks with dicks? They're absolutely amazing. Yeah, chicks with dicks, extremely based and cool. Girl dick, amazing. Amazing. Yeah, lady dick is hot. Very true. Very true. We here on this channel, we pog champ those who like girl dick, okay?
I hope you like these videos. They're free, but they're not cheap.
Really? This wasn't cheap? You standing in front of a green screen with B-roll footage from a climate change denial debate? Yeah, alright. Show May Key or Ellen. Okay. I'm gonna keep screwing it up. I'm really sorry. My brain doesn't process names right, and I can't remember them either. It'd be quite the tax write-off. True. True. He kind of looks like a poor man's Alex Trebek. Rest in peace. All right. That was awful. I hate myself for watching it, but I hate myself even more for what I'm going back to, because we need to finish the Dave Rubin video. The people demanded it. He's actually a smart dude despite his shitty ideas. I feel like those two things are not things that can coexist together. I really want to clip him saying LGBTQ because that was priceless. The poor man's Selleck. True. True. Grifters, all of them. Tiniest Boop, you are the sweetiest Boop as well. Yeah, I'm sure the Heartland Institute is funded by all of the oil monies. All right, well, let's keep watching, I guess.
Meaning that the states certify it, the media runs with it. That probably, I suppose, could happen in the next couple of days. It seems like that could happen in the next couple of days. For Trump to win, I don't see how that could happen in the next couple of days because it doesn't look like these recounts are going to help him. Maybe the Arizona one does. Now, there's probably going to be a recount altogether in Wisconsin, so that delays things a little bit, depending on what happens with the other states if Biden's not able to get to the magic number. But a Trump win realistically has to go through the courts. What that means is that there'll be enough contested elections at the state level that the courts will have to fight this out. So think of this basically as what happened in 2000 with George W. Bush and with Al Gore, except that instead of it only happening at one state level and really at a local level, Broward County, that it would be happening at a multi-state level. Now, I suspect that Trump still has a card or two up his sleeve. I suspect that Trump did think that this could very possibly happen. There's a video of Attorney General Bill Barr from, I think it's about 2 months ago, being interviewed by Wolf Blitzer, saying how he felt that the amount of...
Yes, I turned him into Ben Shapiro so that he could be more digestible. Because I found out that if you put him to 1.25, he just sounds like a normal human.
Massive fraud that could happen with mail-in ballots is off the charts, and that they have to look into it and all that. So the idea that Trump didn't think, oh man, could the system really come crashing down on me? And could they just sort of stop an election and then cause chaos for a couple of days and everything else? Like, and again, whether you think all of that is true or not,
he just says,
the beauty of the system of the courts is now the courts.
He just says so little of substance that I just, it's not important. I'm glad you're comfy, Tiniest Boop. I also like how you communicate with emojis. It's very adorable.
Then can actually ascertain the information, right? Like Trump doesn't own the courts. So if you hate Trump, then still getting things to go to the courts, well, I guess you don't like the courts at this point either, and he's appointed some of the court people, and that's why everything's just such a mess anyway. But the path for Trump, I think, only goes through the courts. Like, I don't see a way that Pennsylvania is going to come around and be like, Trump won, even if he actually did. Like, I just don't sort of see that happening. Now Georgia is finding all of these votes, and Georgia, which was Trump, is now Biden, and it's days later. Like, it's just happening everywhere in front of our eyes.
I love how Dave Rubin's just entire stance for this video has just been him acting confused about how voting works. How do people feel about Philip DeFranco? I don't really feel anything about him. Hello, Mr. J Logic. How are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful night.
Eyes. Okay, I think Trump, if he fights it in court, well, then we probably end up in like 2 months of this craziness, and that's not a reason to stop fighting, obviously. But I think it's dangerous for just the health of the nation overall. You know what I mean? Like, just the endless fighting. And you guys know, everything being equal, I want Trump to win here, right? Like, I think that would be the best scenario to keep America a free, democratic, capitalist nation. I still believe that.
Here's my plan, guys. I looked at Tim Pool's content and I said, how is this man the most viewed English-speaking political commentator in the world? Okay? That was the spark of an idea right there. Because he has no charisma, he has no ability, and yet somehow his one shtick of saying I'm a liberal and then just being a conservative has gotten him the most views of any political commentator on the internet. So my idea is just that, hey, I can do what Tim Pool does. I can do that. So let's do that. Let's change the world a little bit, okay? For the best. Yeah, I mean, like Tim Pool literally has nothing going for him. Like I've tried watching Tim Pool content. It's boring as dirt. It's literally just boring as dirt. I don't get it. Dave Rubin and Tim Pool are both evidence that a meritocracy does not exist. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, for whatever his flaws might be, and some of his over-the-top rhetoric of the last couple of days. Like, you know, when Trump goes out there and says, well, I absolutely won. It's like,
gosh, yeah, he at one point predicted a 50-state landslide for Trump. Holy shit.
Well, not really. That's not really what happened. And that's what Trump does, right? He goes over the top and then kind of reels it back in. But unfortunately, we don't have a media that can deal with this stuff, honestly. So what I would sort of fear here is that we end up in like just 2 more months.
Yeah, we really don't have a media that can deal with this honestly. Right? Right, Dave? Can I call you David? Right, David? We don't have a media that can handle this honestly.
This craziness, and I think there's probably so many mental health issues that we're not dealing with properly. I mean, I think that's very clear if you look at what the average blue check person.
It's true. Dave Rubin, we're not treating mental health properly. You know what would help? You know what would help, Dave Rubin? Some sort of decommodified approach to healthcare where everyone gets healthcare through the state, and then everyone can have access and go to get healthcare when they need it. You know, I think that might solve the problem. Maybe, Dave Rubin, you should go farther to the left. I mean, sorry. Dave Rubin, you need to go farther to the right, okay? You need to go farther to the right and embrace decommodification as a principle, okay?
Is doing on Twitter. Like, there's a certain point where we'll all kind of snap. We'll all kind of snap. I have no doubt that you guys are having some problems in your family related to politics and with friends related to politics. And I've got a couple of those situations. For as public as I am about all of this, at some level you would think, oh, people know what I think, and it's like, it is what it is. And then still in the last couple of days, people have started coming out of the woodwork and being all angry at me. And I do always find that the anger only goes one way. Like, I'm not angry at my friends that voted for Biden or that didn't support Trump or whatever. Like, I think maybe they were mistaken. I'm not even sitting here telling you I'm totally right about everything, but like the anger and I'm going to remove you from my family.
Okay, Dave Rubin, would you be okay with it if somebody voted for a presidential candidate who was explicitly running on a platform and had in the past implemented policies against gay men, would you be okay hanging out with such a person? Would you want them in your life, Dave Rubin? Because I really don't think you would. I don't think you would want that person in your life. Yeah, exactly. Biden won't hurt him. Trump will hurt people like me, though. And like Miss Dinosaur, 2049. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Excellent observation.
I'm not going to be your friend anymore. I'm going to get you out of my life. That seems to be a one-way anger. And that, I think there's philosophical reasons for that I actually wrote about in my book. I mean, I think if you
get out of my life if you think I deserve less human rights than you do. Yes. Yes, actually. Yes. Same, Tiniest Boop. Same.
just think this is everything. If you just wake up in the world every day and you just look around and just think current events are the answer to everything. And that's what you do. Oh, that happened, this happened, that happened, this happened, this happened. And you never look up, right? You never think about what the big picture is, what life really is all about. Well, then you'll be angry at everyone all the time.
Oh, Dave Rubin, please tell me what life is all about. I'm far more interested in that than anything else you've said in this video.
So Trump's path, I think, is through the court.
Yes. Donald Trump did try and reverse the gay marriage ban in court. He asked them if there was a way they could quietly do it. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's a real, he's really subtle about his book, guys. He's really subtle about it.
Be a messy, messy slog to get there. But I will say this, Trump is a fighter in a way that normal Republicans aren't, right? Like, you can even see it right now. These Lincoln Project dingbats who pumped like $100 million into one of the senatorial races and then they lost. I think it was to Joni Ernst. It's like, well, you guys, they're all feeling emboldened right now. Like, they're feeling emboldened. They're like, we're going to double down on everything, keep doing everything. And it's like, you guys aren't even Republicans. Like, what are you fighting for? How are you conservative or Republican if you're going to put in people, if you will fight against your only fighters, right? And then you're going to actually put in people who are against everything that you purport to believe in. Like, you're not Republicans or conservative. You're not even principled. You're just people that want to be liked, I guess. And that is a thing. That is a thing in the world, that people just sort of throw in the towel and just say, okay, I just want to be liked. Like that. That is a thing. So anyway, Trump's slog to get there is a long court battle. I think the Biden thing, they're probably going to try to call this thing for Biden in the next couple of days, and then Trump will contest, and then we'll kind of see where we're at, and hopefully the violence won't be too crazy. You know, Portland, they've gone into some residential neighborhoods and they're yelling at people and burning shit down, and we're seeing this in.
Yeah. If people actually burned Portland down as much as Republicans say, or claimed they did all the time, Portland would be a smoking crater, guys. Portland would just be wiped off the map if it was burned down as much as these people say it was. It's true, Revolt Rise. It's true. Exactly.
Some other places. Hopefully some calmer heads prevail. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think. Let me throw in one other thing here. I've laid out the map for Biden. It probably happens in the next couple of days. The media runs with it. Big tech gets prepared to get rid of all of the opposition. The real resistance, actually, like the people who are against the system, they'll be the ones taken out, right? And that is a problem. And I've laid out the Trump one, which is that we go through the courts and we just kind of see where we're at. And then even after the courts, if they actually said Trump wins.
Again, I do think it's really fucking weird how normalized the right has made Donald Trump going through the courts, like as if it's like a normal thing to do in our election process. Portland is gone, guys. True. The only people left are the mole people, the ones who live underground. They were safe from the blaze. But it's really wild to me how every conservative commentator is just like, yeah, he's gonna have to go through the courts. It's totally normal, guys. Like, yeah, of course he will. Like, I just like, yeah, he has to go through the courts. It's the only way he can win. Like, totally makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely unprecedented levels of enabling of this man.
Can you imagine?
Well, exactly. They hate this system, but they feel like there's some sort of inherent Americanness to it. So they don't want to say that they're fascists and that Donald Trump should just be president. But that's really what they want. These people want Donald Trump to just stay president by whatever means.
Imagine the insanity that the left would unleash. I mean, I can't even possibly imagine. You can see how vindictive and angry they are right now when they think they've won. Like, imagine if at the end of this they actually lose. Then we got a bigger problem. So there's all of that, and then there's also, well, okay, if
No, Happy, I was explaining to you why climate change scientists don't go to climate change denialist debates. I was also explaining to you why responsible platform holders don't generally platform lunatics alongside reputable scientists like both things are equal. I don't understand how you can't wrap your head around this. I mean, like, most people in my chat right now understand, Happy, that you're being kind of, like, ridiculous. Also, I haven't banned you. My moderators have far less tolerance than I do when it comes to people being obnoxious. I humored you by watching your video, by the way, and they didn't make any arguments and they didn't offer any data to back up their claims. So, like, your video is just bad, my dude. Like, I watched the entire thing, and it was just bad. They didn't have any data, they didn't have any studies, they just said things. And they're supposed to be scientists. Scientists are supposed to have data. Okay, yeah, they're my responsibility. And I think it was fine that they timed you out. Yeah, I think that's fine. You were being obnoxious. You're sharing misinformation. And you can't seem to understand basic facts. Also, I notice you didn't come back and share your groundbreaking expose about hospitals being involved in some sort of wide-ranging conspiracy. So I just have to point that out. It's pretty weird. Oh, I mean, I could also Asolite? Hello, welcome to the chat. I appreciate you being here and participating very much. I can also pretend to be conservative by just saying random shit that doesn't make any sense. You told me that someone the establishment doesn't agree with should not have the right to speak about it. I said responsible platform holders typically don't present two things as being equivalent when they aren't equivalent. That's what I told you. And that's what I tried to explain to you. And you can't seem to understand it, despite the fact that I'm explaining to you again in extremely clear terms. Yeah, I'm just saying your claims have all been bullshit so far. So, like, I don't... Like, if you're going to say something, present evidence to back it up. No, you said you shouldn't give climate change denialists a platform to speak. Yes, I said responsible platform owners should not give those people platforms to speak because they're spreading bunk, garbage science, and they can't back it up with any facts. All right, let's finish this video, please.
Trump just says, you know what? Maybe he doesn't take it all the way. Maybe suddenly it's like, you know what? We did everything we could. There's nothing left. We looked at all the legal...
Would you have a debate between I don't know, like satellite scientists and flat earthers? I don't think both ideas deserve the same equivalence and should not be presented as such. I'm sorry. I don't think the two ideas have the same merit. I don't know, should you hold up a homeless person with mental problems who thinks that shit is secretly made out of gold and can be traded as currency and put that person toe-to-toe with, like, the head of the IMF in a debate? No, I don't really think so. I'm sorry. There's a reason television programs don't just show random shit.
Repercussions. We look at all the options. There's absolutely nothing left. And he steps away. Well, then what happens to the Republican Party? Do you just get this sort of neutered Republican thing that kind of wants to be liked by the media, never comes to anything? Or did he model enough on how to fight so you actually get some good Republicans? Now, that was my hope all along. Remember, in the last couple weeks, I kept saying my hope is if Trump wins again, you get that beautiful thing out of the Republicans in 2024. And you get this really wide swath of people that include Nikki Haley and Dan Crenshaw and maybe Candace Owens.
I wonder, and maybe Candace Owens. Holy shit, guys. I do have to wonder here. What does, like, I haven't heard Dave Rubin talk about any kind of policy that he likes out of Trump. I do really wonder, like, what policies does he think are good from Donald Trump? Like, he's talking about, like, oh, it would be such a wonderful thing. Yeah, like, he hasn't said anything in this video. He hasn't said anything. It's amazing. All he did was point out that more minorities turned out for Trump this election. That's it. That's all he said. It's been 25 minutes of him on camera saying nothing.
And Tim Scott, and who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? I think that's a little more difficult to argue if he just steps away. Anyway, it's the weekend, guys. I'm having...
Hey, Happy. No, you do get to decide that if you're the person who controls the platform, which is what I'm saying. Do you think that Fox News just puts any rube on television? No, they choose who goes on television. They choose who to give like credibility to. They choose who to platform. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. I don't understand how you don't understand. Like, I don't get how you don't get this.
Friends over tonight. We're gonna drink. Maybe we'll smoke a little something, because
maybe you'll smoke a little something. Dave Rubin, that sounds like hippy dippy leftist talk over here.
I think we're free for now. Who the hell knows? I hope you have a great weekend. Try not to spend too much time online, although, as I said, Megyn Kelly clips tomorrow and full video on Sunday. But get out there, find the ones you love, have some fun, do something you like to do, whatever that is. Walk the dog, play some video games, do a little yoga, take a jog, whatever it is. Get out there. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I promise you. And if it isn't going to be okay, we may as well think it's going to be okay, because the alternative is pretty freaking depressing. All right, have a good weekend, everybody.
I hate him so much. I've never watched a full Dave Rubin video. This was excruciating, and I'm never going to do it again, okay?